Welcome to the Pandemonium Witches podcast, where the ADHD has just a touch of autism, where the true crime is as scary as the hauntings and unsolved cases. But the hosts never stay on topic for long. I'm Kat.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Em.
And I'm Meg.
Keep your arms, legs, and other extremities in the vehicle at all times, and enjoy the show.
Good morning.
Good morning. How was your coma?
Amazing. So, Mom should be discharged sometime today. The doctor rounds at noon, so
Okay.
so Dad's getting ready to go right now. And so because he has his door shut, I have my door shut. Fluffy is standing in the hallway crying.
Oh no!
So, in between us getting off the phone and getting everything, set to record, I open the door, let her in. I go to shut the door, but I didn't shut it all the way, so that way,
She can come in and out.
Well, she came in, looked under the bed, turned around, and then left. Okay. So I shut the door again, and right as the call was going through, I could hear her crying into the hallway again. And I was just like, I can't have the door open right now. Like,
there's no way about it.
No.
I want to publish this tomorrow, if not the next day, if I can.
Okay.
Well, because tomorrow we already have an episode, so probably the 25th. So I know you are aware that I'm a spooky bitch. You're a spooky bitch too.
Yes.
So I used to work at a couple of haunts in California.
Mm-hmm.
There was one in Santa Cruz I worked at. And I hung out with a lot of friends who worked haunts and stuff like that. There's not a lot of stuff that scares me. But I worked with a couple of girls who... It's my husband.
Tell him I said hi.
I will. Not filling. I can't text today. So...
Oh, it's okay. Mom couldn't text yesterday either, and it was hilarious.
I mean, she was hyped up on payments, too, so...
Yeah, it was hilarious. Oh, speaking of which, so one of her allergies is Percocet. And so what did the nice nurse try to give her last night?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
She okay?
Yeah, she's fine. Thankfully, she breaks down in hives. She gets very itchy, a little nauseous, but nothing like anaphylaxis or anything like extremely major. But it's still the fact of the matter. It's written on her allergy tag. It's in the system. Why did you still give it to her?
Well, probably the same reason doctors don't believe that I am allergic to latex until I get...
You break out in hives.
Right. So, a lot of stuff has been happening in the news about a specific haunted house. Let me just...
Is it the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, it's the one they did the documentary of. I did a full...
Where they have to sign like a full
40-page
waiver.
Yeah. So I did a deep dive on that. That waiver is like not... Who the fuck is Maxine? Sorry. I'm going through my list of people and I'm like, who the fuck is Maxine? I just have a document entitled Maxine. There ain't nothing in it.
So random.
So there's a girl that I follow, woman, really. Megan Lemons, also known as Daddy Lemons on TikTok.
Yes.
We're mutuals. I didn't know that until like a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I think she like if you started following her like early on, she went mutual with all of her followers.
This was
now I think
she's only got 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. Yeah, she's only following like 5,000 people. So, she just posted a new video, but we'll get to that in a second. So, Megan posted a video last night, and I started following them ages ago for their makeup content, their spooky content, because I love the fact,
just her stories in general.
Absolutely, because
fabulous storyteller.
We're both spoonies. We both have invisible illnesses, and she posted a video last night, and my friends, we've all been kind of talking about the fact that Russ McKamey is a terrible person, and he should get his just desserts. Well,
he finally did.
He, unfortunately, at somebody's expense. This is a Pandemonium Witches podcast trigger warning. The following episode contains graphic violence and gruesome depictions. Listener discretion is advised. We don't like that. We don't support that. No. Nothing at all. So, because of this situation, we're actually, instead of waiting a month to publish it, we're just going to publish it as soon as I edit it.
Because it's breaking news.
Because it is breaking news. This is a Pandemonium Witches update. So, she posted a video last night, and she actually just posted another video 3 hours ago.
Like an update on it?
Mm-hmm. So, we're going to get into it.
Okay.
All right. So, as someone who is a haunted house, and someone who has also worked with haunts, and friends with people who work haunts, we're going to talk about something that is new in the headlines. This is literally breaking news. We're going to talk about Russ McKamey. It's M-C-K-A, M as in Mary, E-Y. And what the hell is going on in the spooky world of haunted houses? So we're going to do a little bit of a background before we get to the juicy bits, like we do.
Okay.
Believe it or not, all of his information is online. Did you know that?
I mean, I figured.
No, I mean everything. Phone number, address, email, everything is public. And I went, whoo! Not even my...
because he owns property, like...
Right.
So, for my county, if you go to, like, property appraisals and you look up...
you can still keep it as unlisted.
Well, yes, you can, but you have to jump through a lot of hoops to get it unlisted. And you have to have, like, specific reasons. Otherwise, it lists, names of who owns the property, their mailing address, if it's not that house's address, contact information, when they bought it, how much they paid for it, all the details.
This has everything about him. And I went, oh, this is bad. Guys, I'm not going to announce it on the podcast because we don't do doxing here. So, I do want to note that he was born January of 1959. He had old bitch. He lives in Summertown, Tennessee, right next to McKamey Manor. That is not where he's from. He is unfortunately from my neck of the woods, which is in California. Because of the gravity of his actions, as you guys know, well and played on this game, we changed their names. We humiliate.
What are we going to change it to today?
Instead of his name Russ, you party possums know this game. His new name is Pustule.
Pustule.
Pustule. So Pustule for long, Puss for short. This man was a legend for the type of haunted houses that he wanted to open.
Okay.
It became known later as torture chambers because we'll get into that.
That's what they did.
That's not the right thing that you need to be looking at for this story, guys, but we're going to give you just a little behind the scenes on haunted houses.
As we do.
The origin of the haunted house dates back to the 19th century. This is from the Smithsonian, smithsonian.org. It started in 19th century London when a series of illusions and attractions introduced the public to new forms of gruesome entertainment. In 1802, Marie Tussaud scandalized British audiences with an exhibition of wax sculptures. This feature,
I love her.
I know.
I love her sets up.
I know. I figured you would enjoy this bit. It featured decapitated French figures, like figureheads, including King Louis, Marie Antoinette, Marat, and I'm going to mispronounce this, Robespierre?
Sounds right.
Okay. Tussaud's likenesses were remarkably accurate, and with good reason. She created death masks of the French Revolution's many guillotine victims.
Yes.
So when she set up a collection of the Chamber of Horrors, as it was called, a name that is stuck with the Max Museum to this day. At the turn of the 20th century, as Rebecca McKendry describes in Fangoria magazine, the closest relatives to modern haunted houses began with experimenting with macabre themes. In Paris, the Grand Gigonal Theater became notorious for its for its on-stage depictions of graphic dismemberment. The theater's director, Max Murray, famously boasted that he judged each performance by the number of people who passed out shocked in the audience.
I feel like that's not a good thing.
No, but people back then, they were wearing corsets and everything like that, so breath hitching was a thing. Are you using a sock?
I don't have anything else to clean it with. It's a clean sock.
I mean, hold on, do I have? Hold on.
It's not like I can reach through the screen and grab a tissue from you.
You know, I could try. Transcontinental. Through the portal.
I loved how you started looking for something to hand me like we were in the same room.
I forgot. All right, it's been a hell of a day.
Oh, man.
In 1915, an English fairground in Liphook debuted one of the first ghost houses, an early type of commercial horror attraction. The public appetite for horror was starting to pick up by that point.
Mm-hmm.
The first haunted houses were very primitive. Ghosts.
Les Bouquets.
Groups of families, not ghosts, would decorate their basements and hold house-to-house parties. Kids could spook themselves by traveling from basement to basement, experiencing different scary stories. Within a few years, the haunted house would spread across the country. The United States... Oh, God, I forgot about this part. You're going to hate me. The JCs! The United States...
It's just a reoccurring theme.
You know, not just one serial killer,
choice,
but multiple. It is involved with the JCs. So the fact that haunted houses are involved with the JCs, kind of figured. The JCs became famous for raising money through its haunted housing. The fundraising adventure was successful enough to spawn its own how-to guide. You know, what'd be great is if my text was like readable and not size 10.
Little fun fact is that before Hurricane Michael, we used to have a JC's haunted house that would be here for the whole month of October. But all of the, so it was, so local, like the high school drama kids would, work with it. And it was very much, they could not touch you. You could not touch them. It was spooky, but still family friendly.
Right.
And all the proceeds that they gathered went to the local, last chance high school.
Okay.
Or school.
Where you would get your GED and people.
Yeah, so that way, because it was mostly like kids that just, they didn't have the resources or anything, and so they got put there as a last chance. And so they, I think it was like the Maritime School or something, where they taught them, traits, things, but also gave them a GED, or they actually got a high school diploma if they graduated.
Right. I mean,
it was nice. And so Then, Hurricane Michael damaged the building that they were doing it in, so it kind of didn't stop it. They also do the Christmas parade every year, but that's whatever.
I mean, yeah.
Another fun fact, Madame Tussaud has a Tower of London museum in London.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool. Went there as a kid.
Okay.
So it shows like the more like gruesome things, kind of like the Chamber of Terror or whatever it was. Because mind blank already.
Right.
Like it's really cool. Like it's a little gruesome, but it's really cool because it has like, granted I went in like 98, 99. So
it could have changed.
I was still young, but it still had like it's still featured around the Tower of London as a dungeon and a execution site, and not just a place that held the crown jewels,
right?
And was the tourist place.
Well, I mean, the Tower of London held a lot of the. I mean, that is on the list for later.
Yes,
I think that's on your list.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna do a whole episode on that, but back to the story at hand.
Yes. Sorry, I just had a
no. You're totally fine. You're totally fine. I didn't know about that.
Yes.
Yes, he does. In California, Knott's Berry Farm has a spooktacular.
It's on my list of places to go.
I have gone. I loved it. It was before, it was Polaroids and everything like that. I was young, but that got me into liking haunted houses, liking spooky things. They began hosting their own Halloween night attractions, which transformed into a multi-week slate of events.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, a man named Bob Burns attracted national media attention for his detailed recreations of classic horror movies, which he did at Knott's Berry. It's spooky. It's good. So, what am I trying to type?
Not a clue.
So, evangelical Christians even made their own anti-Halloween attractions. Jerry Falwell and Liberty University introduced one of its first hell houses in 1972. Have you ever been to one?
I don't think so.
I have. It's uncomfortable.
I bet it is. It just sounds like it is.
Yeah. As Hollywood began to embrace the slasher movies, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, the Halloween haunted house industry started reaping the benefits, reaping the rewards.
Of course it did.
These horror films boomed, and it fueled a demand for more scary attractions, not to mention the cross-promotional advertisements. So when it was in one, it wasn't in the other.
Yeah.
So that being said, that's the history of haunted houses, right? So
yes,
we got Pustule. Pustule was huge in the haunt community for doing something that no one in the haunt community does and should never do, and that's touch people. I worked in a touch haunted house once. It's my first day. I got punched in the face.
Yeah.
Got a black eye.
Because if you can touch them, they can touch you.
Right. I was one of the screamers. I was dressed like a doll. I was dressed like a Lolita. I had my hair done and everything like that. I got punched in the face. I got knocked out. After that, I was like, I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
But that was
not worth my safety.
Right. That was pre-trauma. This was pre-CPTSD. So.
It was just the starting point.
Right. Ready, set, go. So, he created an alternative universe for haunted houses, which is the extremist point of view. We'll get into this. He created a haunted house in San Diego so extreme that you have to sign waivers just to enter. Pustule refers to the experience as a tour, which is meant to last 10 hours, promising a $20,000 cash prize to anyone who can withstand the full experience. Spoiler alert, no one has ever made it that far, and he has admitted to not having the $20,000.
Of course not.
Each tour is tailored to the individual participating, playing upon their biggest fears and phobias. That's originally what he had posted. It's not the case.
And he has some list, like, in the packets. It literally, it asks you what are your fears, and then he takes those and he throws them at them.
He does not change the house. The house permits just a handful of patrons each weekend. He keeps the house the same, right? There is no conventional entrance fee. Instead, he accepts dog food for his pet dogs.
I mean,
well,
at least the dogs get fed.
Right. At the Tennessee location, guests must be at least 21 years of age or 18 to 20 years with parental consent.
Mm-hmm.
He has an Alabama location as well, which was shut down.
Good.
It allows only guests that are 21 and older.
Okay.
McKamey originally did not allow safe words for the tour, but has since reportedly allowed them, so guests have an option of ending the tour immediately.
Good.
Do you think they actually listen?
No, of course not. Why would they?
It was considered the pioneer of extreme haunted attractions, founded in San Diego, which we talked about. Pustule. It was originally located on his property until he moved it to Tennessee in 2017. This house operates year-round, offering visitors tours that can last up to 10 to 8 hours. Okay? To participate, guests must sign a liability waiver that includes the inability to leave the experience without the staff's permission and being subjugated to various forms. Subjugated. What the fuck? Subjected. My God. Subjected to various forms of physical and psychological torture. So we'll get into that in just a second. These 40 pages of waivers were a farce.
Of course they were.
Right. The original ones that the unsuspecting clients signed weren't the actual waivers that they signed. They only got half. And they didn't receive the other half until they got to the location.
The hell?
The waiver states the participant understands that they may get hurt in one form or another, such as, this is verbatim from the waiver, cuts, bruises, possible broken bones, black eyes, rope burns, exhaustion, dehydration, and even death. These waivers allowed the actors to do whatever they wanted with no consequences. Are you ready to hear what they have done to people?
Not really.
But I'm going to tell you anyway.
Of course you are.
Cutting or shaving people's hair or facial hair. Beating you. Pulling teeth out without anesthesia with pliers. Locking people in a deep freezer. Holding someone's head underwater, which was normally filled with piss and or vomit. Force feeding the most vile, disgusting, rotten food. Force feeding bugs. Snapping someone with a mouse trap. Wrapping plastic wrap around their face. Whippings. Tasings. Burying someone alive. And that is just the non-redacted stuff.
Jesus.
So there's a bunch of stuff that I was able to find because it's an ongoing investigation and open case. I can't access a good chunk of stuff. But
yeah,
it was dubbed by some as a real-life torture chamber.
Yeah.
And even more things that are so explicit that it was redacted. Let's see here. So it was moved to Summertown, 2017, after it was shut down in California due to a public outcry.
Good.
The McKamey Manor, which is located about an hour south. Shall we try that again?
Yes.
So it's been storming here the last 3 or 4 days. What the fuck did I just do? And I literally leaned over in my chair and apparently the power went out and it caused my computer to go out. And I was like, oh my God, did it lose the audio file?
Thankfully, no.
Not today, bitches. You're stuck with my shit. Sorry, not sorry. All right.
Let's try this again.
Take two. All right. So, it moved from California, from San Diego.
Yes.
To Tennessee. So, it moved from California to Tennessee. McKamey Manor, which is located an hour south of Nashville in Summertown, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
It's been the subject of many complaints in Lawrence County.
Not surprising.
So the county commissioner, Scott Franks, described an incident where deputies were called to the property after a neighbor saw a woman being dragged screaming from a van as part of the experience.
I'm sorry. What?
Would you like me to repeat that? County Commissioner Scott Franks described an incident where deputies were called to the property after a neighbor saw a woman being dragged, screaming, from a van as part of the experience.
Like straight kidnapping bullshit.
Yes. So, he said, quote, "Staged or not, this is simply something that none of us want anywhere near us." Also, guys, if you want to know the information about all of the links that I used, a lot of them were journalism websites, a lot of them were straight from the police blotter, as well as a few other things and some TikTok accounts. I can link it in our Facebook if you join the Facebook group and ask.
Yes, please ask.
Staged or not, this is simply something that none of us want anywhere near us, is what he said. So, District Attorney Brent Cooper said the program was legal, because people subjected themselves to it voluntarily.
Still doesn't make it legal.
Though participants could withdraw their consent at any time according to Tennessee state law. It's not what the waiver says.
Right.
McKamey Manor was featured extensively in the 2017 documentary film Haunters, The Art of the Scare, and on Netflix and Hulu's original series Dark Tourist. It was also in another documentary called The Monster Inside, America's Most Extreme Haunted House. Do you know what it was about?
What?
Featured 5 people who had previously been guests of the manor, including footage of the tours that had been taken by McKamey and posted online on YouTube. Rachel, he has a YouTube account.
Oh. I hate it.
Right? This guy was a predator back when I was doing the haunt scene, and he's still predator now. None of us liked him. Because he toured the circuits.
Surprised.
He toured the circuits. One of the haunts that I worked at, one of my friends, which I talked to husband about this, and he's like, just omit their name. And I was like, I can omit their name and their sexuality, so nobody will know who it is. Because they had to sign an NDA. They worked there, and they broke their jaw at his manor in San Diego. They signed an NDA. Anyways, back to the task at hand. So, in some of the videos, people can be seen being dragged by chains, locked into confined spaces while water pours in, waterboarding. And prior to the Hulu documentary, thousands of people signed a petition in 2019 to shut the manor down.
As they should.
Do you want to hear the good part?
What's the good part?
Because of this documentary, an active investigation was started with the police force.
Yay! We love that.
I pressed the button like 3 times. Stupid power outage. In October 31st, aptly so, 2023, the Tennessee Attorney General and reporter Jonathan Skermetti notified McKamey Manor that it was under investigation over concerns about its business practices and whether they might violate the state's consumer protection laws, which I think it does. I did go over the laws, and it definitely does. Specific concerns include the allegations that withdrawn consent is not honored, lack of access to the waiver, and the inability for contestants to win the supposed prize money.
Right.
In the letter, Assistant Tennessee Attorney General Christine Knowles sent McKamey Manor on Halloween. She expressed concern over the haunted attraction's business practices. She stated in the letter that McKamey...
I said, as she should be.
Right. Like, this is disgusting. She said in the letter that McKamey Manor either does not offer or honor participants' wishes to stop during the haunted quote-unquote tour, referencing the Hulu documentary and McKay's comments in it, more specifically stating, direct quote, "We're known for no quitting and no safe wording."
Then why have it in the waiver that they can use the safe word and
now,
they can leave at any time?
Now they have it in there. The new waiver as of the last couple of years. But still, I have never worked in a haunted house like that, and I never would.
No.
I don't know anybody who would.
Very, very sick individuals.
Like people we cover on our podcast.
Yes.
According to participant on a visit to the manor in 2016, she reportedly used her safe word for several minutes before employees stopped torturing her. She was later treated at a hospital for extensive injuries.
Not surprised.
The state's letter also details a second concern, noting that tour participants do not have access to a waiver that describes the risks involved before they sign up. They don't get the risks until they get there. Bless you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. This torture chamber has been in the national spotlight for some time. Prior to the Hulu documentary, thousands of people signed the petition to shut it down, which we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Deputies have also been called to the property several times in the past, with a criminal investigator for the 22nd Judicial District Attorney's Office interviewing McKamey March of 2018. However, it still remained open after that.
Right.
The attraction owner filed a lawsuit against Tennessee, seeking a court order to ensure he would not have to testify in a state investigation he believed to be, get this, politically motivated.
I call some bullshit on that.
Look, I mean, why do people think they can get away with murder or almost murder? You know?
Because they delulu.
Seriously. So, he responded, Mr. Pustule, by filing a 32-page lawsuit against the Tennessee Attorney General. In the lawsuit, he claims that the Attorney General's request not only violates his First, Fourth, Fifth, and 14th Amendment, but it's part of a larger effort to prevent him from engaging in lawful conduct on his private property. Lawful conduct. There's nothing about this that is lawful.
That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works.
So, Skermetti began raising concerns about the McKamey Manor's operations following the release of the Hulu documentary in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
In April, McKamey filed a $8.4 million lawsuit, million with an M, against Hulu and multiple defendants that included a production company and a participant in the documentary about the popular Tennessee haunted attraction. He signed waivers.
Still doesn't make it right.
He's preaching about waivers, but he signed waivers to be in the documentary. Doesn't make sense. The haunted attraction, let's see here, was covered by YouTuber and TikToker Reckless Ben. Do you know who Reckless Ben is?
I think so.
He's the guy that does the slag walk.
Ah, okay.
I think he is insane because he signed up to do this house.
didn't think he was insane before that. But him doing that, yes.
Yes. Like him walking across large landscapes on this tiny, tiny wire. Okay, that's pretty crazy. That's not insane. It's pretty crazy.
That's just crazy.
Signing up willingly for this house. You brother, you insane.
Fully knowing what all they do there and will do to you. Like,
so
that's the insane part.
He got the waivers. He was the one who notated that they only get half. All right? On the waivers, you must be 21 and up or 18 to 20 with parents' approval, which we talked about before. You must get a sports physical and a doctor's letter stating you are physically and mentally sound.
I mean, that does make sense.
Pass the background check.
Okay.
Pass a screening via Facebook, FaceTime, or phone.
And it seems a little excessive.
Have proof of medical insurance.
I mean, knowing what all of the people go through there, that does make sense.
Do you want to know the last one, which is laughable? All of this is laughable, but pass a portable drug test on the day of the tour. What?
I mean,
I'm going to have a fuckload of poppy seed muffins. Sorry.
All the poppy seeds.
All the poppy seeds. Just give me a whole fuckload of poppy seeds. If you go to YouTube and search for McKamey Manor, this sick, disgusting pervert filmed hours of people going through his quote-unquote haunted house.
No, it's a torture house. There's no haunting to it.
Have you seen Saw?
Yes.
Have you seen Hostel?
No.
If you've seen Saw and you've seen Hostel, if you stick the two together, you have this.
And I was about to say, and then you add a little spice to it.
Add a little spice, a little sprinkling of spice. But that should be villainous enough, right? That should be just villainous enough to lock him behind bars. It's not. Let me explain why. He still hasn't been arrested for that haunted house, but he has been arrested for something else.
What do you get arrested for?
I have to get into why.
Okay.
He believes that all the attention is good attention.
I mean, we already established he's Delulu, so I mean.
Right. So, per one TikToker, I'm quoting them directly. I refuse to give him the satisfaction of all the things that I have to say about this man. He could be going to jail as early as August 9th, which could effectively put an end to the manor as we know it. So there goes the change.org petitions, the state of California shutting him down, him losing his job, him being barred from moving to Illinois because of this. He's going to move again. A petition with change.org was active since 2019 to shut down the manor and all of his haunted houses. It is thousands of signatures. So, the Attorney General actively opened up a case and is deep diving into the manor to shut him down to make him face charges. But that's not what has shut down the manor, because right now it's down as of now. He was arrested by charges being filed from his ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
Not only did his most recent ex-girlfriend state that Pustule was violent, numerous ex-girlfriends and ex-wives complain that he is a violent man, abusive, and threatening to people, etc.
I mean, it would make sense considering
all of this.
Yes.
From all the research that we've done on previous predators and serial killers, he would fall into the A1 category.
Yes.
Okay. By the way, guys, we have A1 and B1 categories. B1 are people who are just curious individuals. A1 are actual individuals who would actually follow through with the elimination.
We have assholes 1 and bastards 2.
There you go. So the first reported incident with the cops for the most recent ex-girlfriend was noted on 7/17 of 2024. Guys, this was just last week, so we were filming this on the 23rd. It will be released in 2 days. It was noted that he strangled her on 2 separate incidents on the same date.
Oh my God.
The arrest affidavit, detectives stated that Pustule strangled her to the point she lost consciousness during a DV situation in the home.
Holy shit.
That being said, the second altercation occurred the same day. And at that point, he was taken to jail.
Good.
He was originally arrested on a $1,000 bond. Between the time he was arrested until midnight or 1 o'clock the next morning, his bond changed from $1,000 to $60,000. Now, that being said, our hearts are with his ex-girlfriend who survived him.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely do feel for her. Congratulations for escaping him. We are sorry you have gone through this. However, he is a horrible man.
Don't back down. Stick to your guns and fight and make sure he gets the most punishment possible.
Which, I'll get to that in a second. So the charges originally were just DV. All right?
Okay.
But they were elevated to attempted murder and grape. The charges weren't about the Manor, just her. However, he has not just done this once. He's done this multiple times. So, as of today, 7/23, he's currently being held at a $100,000 bond.
Good.
And he's been ordered to have no contact with his victims.
Good.
This is not shocking to the people in the haunt world with me and my other friends.
Yeah.
Which I have a group text of like 12 of them. And I silenced my notifications. So in the state of Tennessee, DV can rate from a Class B misdemeanor to a Class 5 felony, depending on the situation.
At this point, it's the Class 5 felony.
Right. So suffice to say that Pustule has always been a violent and abusive man, but now that's finally caught up to him, and his court date is set for August 6th at 9.
Okay.
So, there is a lot to be said about this man. I watched the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
He is not impressive, to say the least. Looking at the video real quick. If you get scared very easily, do not watch this. All right. Hold on. So he kept talking about this house that he created as a haunted house. It's not. And
now, haunted houses are like little spooky things, like
I mean, the ones
little terror.
Right,
like,
the ones that I worked at, I was a victim in one. I was a China doll in one. I was Little Miss Muffet who ate her tuffet. So I was a big fat lady with fake spiders in my hair and everything like that. And I would chase after kids. After a while, after I got a little bit older, I became the fairy. And I would dress and I would look so ethereal-like, and I would have these big wings. And I would find lost kids in the rooms.
Yeah.
And I would have these glowing lights that I would turn on and off. And I'd be like going through in between the tours looking for these lost kids.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody would want to, in their sane mind. Let me backtrack. I don't know anybody in their sane right mind who would do this.
Me either.
So it's talking about how people were like scared shitless. Yeah. They would vomit. They would piss themselves. They would shit themselves. There was a thing, at least in the haunts that I did, pregnant women had to sign a waiver that if their water broke or they gave birth, that we would not be in trouble. And we had EMTs on site at all times.
Yeah.
But anytime I was working any of those situations, I would walk with the pregnant women.
Yeah.
Because I had my medical assisting license, so.
Just as a precaution.
Right. I was like, I'm not a nurse, but I'll walk with you.
Right.
They
I have
won't.
a little medical knowledge.
Right. Ah! I had a lady give birth in an elevator. That's a story for another day. We're not going to talk about that today.
No. She named the kid after you?
No. Although she did keep my favorite scrunchie. It was bright pink and covered in those glitter rhinestoney things.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, I've personally never wanted to meet him. Oh, one of my other friends just texted. She goes, "Oh wow, about that time that creep got arrested."
Facts.
I know, seriously.
Took too damn long for that to happen.
He gives haunting a bad name, you know?
He does.
I hope that the domestic violence charges don't go away.
Me either.
And I hope the grape charges don't go away or the attempted schmurder. But he is a vile person. He is definitely a monster. He preys on the innocent and he preys on the weak.
Yeah.
And if he continues to stay out there, he's just going to get worse, you know? But if you guys want to see the content I'm talking about, she's on TikTok as Daddy Lemons.
We love her.
We love her. Shout out. Also, if you do have any information regarding pustule, do contact your local law enforcement personnel, because I know a lot of friends who are now going to be following suit, because it has been a while since my friend broke her jaw, but I know she's probably going to be doing something too. So,
yeah, as she should.
Oh yeah, no, they should. So, as they should, yes. That being said, that is my story for today.
Okay. I hated it.
I did too.
But I'm glad, he's finally arrested.
Me too. I just really hope he doesn't get out.
Me too.
Because that would suck.
Ultimately suck.
So hard. So, I hope you have a good rest of your day, guys. Stay spooky. And we'll see y'all next time.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.